Ice cream. It is delicious, refreshing, melting in the mouth. This dessert is loved by everyone, but who knows what it's made of? In addition to milk and sugar, of course. In this program, Misha Maslov will figure out how algae, acacia, gold, and pickled cucumbers became ingredients of ice cream. The territory is 180,000 square meters, manufacturing buildings equipped with modern technology. The scale of the enterprise is impressive, and this is not an automobile or a metallurgical plant. People make waffle cups and Eskimo pies here. To find out how ice cream is produced, you need to put on this sterile, literally a spacesuit with a hood. Put on special shoes, a beard cover. Wash your hands. Now the legs. And after this, you should put a special disinfectant on your hands. Well, that's it. Now I'm clean. We can go. Walking around the ice cream factory is a very serious deal. You can move strictly following the green lines. White ones are for transport, and yellow, a working area where outsiders are not allowed to enter. Ice cream is not an invention of our time, or even of our century. It has been known for at least 5,000 years. The motherland of this dessert is China. There, frozen juices were served to the festive table. That was an analog of the modern fruit ice. Alexander the Great restored his strength with an ice cream after military campaigns, and Hippocrates recommended it as a remedy to relieve the heat. The first Russian ice cream was so-called ice milk, which was mixed with honey and frozen, served in special saucer forms. It was rubbed on a grater or chopped into small pieces in order to give softness to this sweet milk mixture. More often, it was simply dissolved in the mouth. The ingredients of modern ice cream significantly differ from the favorite delicacy of Alexander the Great. The number of ingredients has increased by several dozen times. Now we are on the way to the warehouse, and we need to wear a special signal vest for this. In fact, it could be better to use a jacket. Tons of raw materials which are necessary for making ice cream are stored here. Ingredients should not be deteriorated, so the temperature in the warehouse does not exceed 5 degrees. In all these jars and boxes, future ice creams and sorbets are hidden.
This is milk powder. This is sugar. And this is various berry stuffers, nuts, chocolate. Everything is very tasty. And there are stabilizers, emulsifiers for mixtures over here. This is the main ingredient that turns a liquid milk formula into an airy, tasty ice cream.
Stabilizers and emulsifiers are food additives that help us to make modern ice cream. Why won't we get any frozen dessert without these ingredients? We decided to find out in the Scientific Institute of the Refrigeration Industry. The ice cream laboratory has existed since the 1930s. So, since the time when ice cream was first produced in Russia.
We are developing new varieties of ice cream, new technologies. Ice cream technologies with functional nutrition products. Ice cream without food additives, low-fat and low-sugar ice cream. All food additives that are used in the production of the ice cream have passed through our laboratory. We give them a decision about applicability of use.
To explain the importance of stabilizers in the ice cream production, the laboratory staff decided to go through an experiment.
The stabilizer is needed in order to have a good whipping, a creamy body in ice cream, so that the consumer could enjoy this dessert. Now we will have two samples. One sample we will have without a stabilizer, and another sample we will have with a stabilizer, guar gum in this case.
E412, guar gum, despite its terrible name, is considered as harmless and even a very useful food additive. It is practically not absorbed in the intestines. It controls appetite and decreases cholesterol. Guar gum is obtained from guar beans, pods of the Indian acacia. This plant is grown mainly in India and Pakistan. Guar gum is used not only in the food industry. The main application area of this additive is the oil industry. Guar gum is part of the solution, which is pumped into wells during drilling. Due to the viscosity of this substance, the cracks in the rocks expand, which ensures the infiltration of oil.
Now, we will weigh the stabilizer, guar gum. These are very small doses, like this. And first, we will mix dry components, and then we will mix all of them with water. After that, I add the stabilizer to the milk powder together with the sugar. Well, in the second sample, accordingly, there was only sugar and milk powder. So then we add water here. Now we take a so-called whisk and mix it very properly. Well, we are done with this. And now they need to be pasteurized.
A pasteurization bath looks like a water bath with hot water. Such a device is necessary for heating substances up to 100 degrees. We only need 85 degrees. This temperature is enough to eliminate bacteria and also to improve the consistency and structure of the mixture.
Our samples are ready, and now we'll see what we do have here. Yes, let's see what happened. We can see visually that this mixture with the stabilizer is more viscous than the mixture without the stabilizer. If we would use this mixture without a stabilizer, we will have very low whipping or absence of it at all. So the consumer who will eat such an ice cream will feel a piece of ice instead of creamy consistency and delicate texture. Ice cream is, when it's in the form of a mixture, is quite unstable. You need to get a product that will keep some structure, because not all ice cream has form of glasses. Sometimes they could have very interesting structures, like rolls, cakes, elbow macaroni, and even rosettes. In order to keep ice cream structure beautiful, attractive, tasty, which you wish to eat, which does not sink during storage, which does not change its shape, we add stabilizers. They allow you to keep planned shape of the dessert.
The consistency of ice cream is one of the main indicators of its quality. Therefore, the finished samples are carefully examined under a microscope. The allowed size of ice crystals does not exceed 50 microns. This is 1/20th of a millimeter, or 2 hairs in thickness.
If the ice crystals are small, then we would not feel them organoleptically, by our senses, that is. If ice crystals are large, then they would be very noticeable organoleptically.
At the factory of the future, ice cream should go through the same stages as in the laboratory, only everything is much bigger. In the peak season, the plant produces up to 200 tons of ice cream per day. Ingredients are mixed, not manually, but in a special mixer. The production is computerized and the whole process takes place in closed tanks. The control of the process is carried out from this computer center. The number of monitors and multitasking reminds us of a flight control panel.
The operator receives an order for the production of the mixture. By using the code of this mixture, he prints the order, and according to the code, the operator literally gets the full recipe. But he still has to check manually the match of the necessary recipe to what has automatically been programmed into the computer. After that, he starts the cooking process already in the automatic mode, until the moment when the raw mixture is prepared.
There are a lot of great people among ice cream fans. This dessert was really loved by Napoleon. He was even brought an ice cream maker during his exile on the island of St. Helena. Henry II, the son of the Queen of France, Maria Medici, could eat ice cream at any time of the year in any quantity. At that time, the recipes of these delicacies were considered a state secret. The famous Russian writer of the 19th century, Anton Chekhov, was fond of ice cream. During his trip in Odessa with a prima donna of the Maly Theater, Glafira Panova, he visited a popular confectionery every day and then admitted that he had spent half his fortune on this delicacy. The mixture moves through the pipe for the ice cream to proceed through all the stages, from mixing to freezing. The future dessert overcomes about 2 kilometers of highways. As we already know, in order to prepare ice cream, its ingredients must undergo thermal treatment, pasteurization, which destroys harmful microorganisms. The next important stage of production is homogenization. It occurs here in this device, which looks pretty unremarkable from here.
And right behind me there is a device called a homogenizer. It's sort of an internal combustion engine with a combustor chamber in it.
The mixture is fed into the device and passed through a narrow opening under high pressure. As a result, fat globules decrease by several tens of times. This helps to make the homogeneous mixture. The process of homogenization affects the structure and consistency of the future ice cream. To improve the properties of the mixture, some manufacturers use emulsifiers. They are necessary for mixing substances that, due to their molecular composition, cannot dissolve into each other. Like fat and water, the emulsifier splits fats, allowing them to mix with other particles.
Emulsifiers are needed in order to get the desired whipping of ice cream. So the ice cream keeps its shape on extrusion lines, so it guarantees necessary consistency of the product.
Some emulsifiers are produced synthetically. These could be chemical or natural substances susceptible to chemical treatment and heating. But such additives are not practical to use because of the high costs. Natural substances are much cheaper. Lecithin is one of the natural emulsifiers. It can be found in eggs and milk fat. In the food industry, soy lecithin, E322, after the mixture has become homogeneous, it must ripen. The future ice cream is pumped into a special tank and stays there in a temperature of 5 degrees for 6 hours. The mixture ripens here in these containers, which hold 16 tons. They are called tanks. There are 33 of them in this compartment. It is some kind of a tank brigade. An ice cream factory has its own laboratory, and its experts can distinguish the taste of Madagascar vanilla from Tahitian with the first spoon. Some real sommeliers in the field of ice cream work here.
Seems like it is simply vanilla, but in fact, vanilla has hundreds of flavors. Vanilla could be sweet or spicy. It could be some kind of bitter too. If you cook strawberry jam at home, berries could be fresh and sour. It could have a taste of grandmother's jam and a lot of other shades of taste. What we do here is we try ice creams and divide their tastes.
The most famous ice cream taster is John Harrison. He is the official taster of the largest American producer of cold desserts. He's tried more than 1 million samples of ice cream and helped to create more than 100 different tastes. His taste buds are insured for $1 million, and his annual salary is over $100,000. Maybe I also should become an ice cream taster. I definitely have the talent for this. In the experimental laboratory, specialists create new types of ice cream, select fillers, fillings, nuts, and other components, dyes, and flavors. Natural ingredients have preferences.
Natural additives are very grateful materials in the work. They will never let you down. Synthetics could often be capricious. Almost nobody knows how it will behave in storage, whether the fragrance remains stable, whether the color will be the same as you planned. Natural aroma fails very rarely. Yes, maybe it is not so catchy and bright. It is necessary to put more of it, but we still get what we want with it.
Today, you can find about 100 flavors of ice cream in shop, but laboratory specialists sometimes move away from popular recipes and create something extravagant.
We tried to make the most exotic taste just for ourselves. There was ice cream with pickles, ice cream with beer, non-melting ice cream, and that is a boundless stretch of our imagination. Like, I took fresh cucumbers, salted them, and then made ice cream with them.
The largest assortment of ice cream flavors is offered by the owner of the famous Portuguese cafe, Manuel de Silva Oliveira. There are 709 varieties of ice cream in his place. You cannot try all of them even in 1 year. You could taste ice cream with onion, pork cracklings, carrots, tomatoes, shrimp, spaghetti, garlic, and even ice cream with chili, or ice cream with tuna in a waffle cone. Sounds delicious. One of the most popular natural dyes is beta-carotene E160B. It is made from carrot. It gives the ice cream an orange color. Red color of cold desserts is basically made out of beet extract, which is marked as E162. And this blue ice cream is the result of the last laboratory experiment.
Yes, the blue color is alarming. This is not a surprise. There is not so much blue color in nature. So when we see a blue ice cream, we of course think, and what is inside of this? And this is spirulina, an ordinary seaweed. In nature, it has blue-green color, and we can get blue, beautiful, bright pigment out of it. Maybe it is not very persistent during heating, but it works with ice cream very well. Moreover, it is healthy. Scientists say that spirulina can beat cancer cells.
Another invention of the laboratory specialists is ice cream without exotic additives. Ordinary starch has been used as a stabilizer for production. Such a dessert will not appear in stores until it will pass a number of serious tests. Our TV anchor was lucky enough to take part in one of the most delicious of them. The most joyful moment of today, right?
Well, this is the most joyful moment and the most responsible in one time. We have seriously changed the stabilization system of the ice cream and evaluate how it will behave during regular storage. By imitating, here's some defects during storage. We can see what the consumer will receive by the end of the expiration date, or if a seller has done something wrong with it.
And I should taste it correctly. What do I need to do?
You already do everything correctly. You took a spoon, took a cup, and now you can put in the sample and try it.
The first sample, which was stored under ideal conditions, is the so-called reference ice cream. Delicious. And my mood is good, and it only improves it, in fact.
Well, I'm glad. Hence, our work has not passed in vain.
Well, we tried it. And what is this?
This is a standard sample.
Yes, standard.
That's right.
Very delicious. Well, it's very creamy, tasty ice cream. I do not know how to call it. Typical vanilla.
It's true. Let's try the next one.
The other two samples have been stored in violation of temperature conditions intentionally. If the ice cream melts even once, then it was frozen again, it loses its texture and appearance. Such a product must be discarded. It seems to me the taste is the same, but the consistency is a bit softer.
It's soft and there are grains on the tongue. Do you feel them?
Grains. I need to try more.
Now, you know one of the brightest effects of ice cream, sandiness. The lactose crystallized during storage, and milk sugar too. You felt it?
Yeah,
Try this one.
with pleasure. But here, even by scooping up a spoon, I feel the ice crystals crunching.
All right, this is the second brightest effect of an ice cream, snowiness.
Yeah.
This ice cream was stored in inadmissible conditions. It was defrosted and frozen, kept in warmth. The structure of ice cream was broken, and here we see the ice crystals.
Yes, that's true. In my opinion, it feels like I scooped up water because this sample is tasteless. Well, I got the feeling that I'm eating snow again, like in childhood. If the storage conditions are met, ice cream with the addition of starch also has good shape and consistency, like desserts prepared with other stabilizers. One of the obvious advantages, the name starch does not sound as frightening as other thickeners.
That is very simple and clear to the consumer. That's starch.
Well, starch, I agree, sounds more like...
Better than guar and xanthoma?
Oh, yes.
We know that our audience is mostly children, so I, like a mother myself, for example, would choose ice cream with starch. I cook my baby drinks with starch, neither with guar or xanthoma. Therefore, if a mom would see milk, sugar, and starch in the composition, she would buy this ice cream for her child.
Well, I agree.
It's tasty and natural.
The most expensive portion of ice cream costs $1,000. It can be bought at one of the restaurants in New York. An exquisite treat consists of Madagascar vanilla, the world's most expensive chocolate, and marzipan cherry. Such a dessert is covered with a thin layer of edible gold. The exclusive ice cream is served with a golden spoon with diamond ornaments, which the client can then take with him. In a literal sense, a dessert is worth its weight in gold. The mixture for the ice cream has matured, and it can be sent to freezing. The process of whipping and freezing. As far as I understand, this is some very important installation, right?
Yes, this is one of the most important machines in the production of ice cream. It's called a freezer. Here in this machine, in the cylinder, the mixture is saturated with air, frozen to a temperature of about 6.5 degrees Celsius, as we can see here.
The liquid mixture enters the rotating cylinder. It will whip there. The space between the walls of the cylinder is fed with refrigerant, which ensures a uniform freezing of the mixture. Then the future ice cream is saturated with air. This process is called fizzering. Thanks to it, ice cream gets a creamy structure. The production of waffle cones is pretty much the same as baking pancakes. Only the dough does not pour out into the pan, but into special cylindrical shapes. The billet passes through 4 meters of the gas oven. Then the excess dough is cut off from its surface, and the finished cone enters the tape. The world would not know about waffle cups and cones without one accident. Until the beginning of the 20th century, ice cream was served exclusively in rosettes and saucers. The invention of a waffle corn people attribute to the Syrian seller of waffles, who took part at the World Fair in St. Louis. His colleague nearby sold ice cream, and his paper cups suddenly ran out. The sellers decided to join forces in order to save the dessert. They began to fold the waffles into cones and put the ice cream there.
Now we go directly to the dosing zone of the mixture and the glaze. As we see, there we have ice cream covered by glaze, and here's the zone of dosing of the mixture.
Probably it was very difficult to adjust all this so smoothly and perfectly that all portions would come out similar to each other, like twin brothers.
Choosing the pipelines for this zone was the most difficult part. We carefully choose their lengths. They should be the same. We kept the pressure in the dispenser also at the same level, so that portions always have the same shape, the same volume, and the ice cream going out with the same mass.
Sergey, well, I think that the ice cream is ready. Can I take this one at least?
Of course, take it, but do not eat. It is forbidden by internal hygiene rules.
How is it possible? Well, maybe I can take it with me then. The filled portions are sent to the refrigerating chamber with the inner temperature -40 degrees. There, they will come through hardening and shaping process. Due to the extremely low temperature, people are not allowed to enter the cell. The chamber door was opened for a few seconds just for our video team. This place reminds us of the kingdom of the Snow Queen. The last stage of production is packaging. After that, ice cream is sent for several days to the cooling chamber with a temperature of minus 30 degrees Celsius. Only after that, ice cream is delivered to the consumers, who definitely know what to do with it. Here was the whole day at the factory, which produces 23, just listen, 1,000 of waffle cups per hour, and I did not eat a single one. And here it is, deserved and so desired.